you seem peppy, and I feel like I'm dying.
I think I'm. Well, I did have like a triple shot of espresso at like 6 o'clock.
That's a good point. Like the last 2 or 3 times we've recorded, I've come from having a Gibraltar at trivia, so I've been like wired, and now I'm like,
yeah, Gibraltar makes sense except for the straight part. Heyo. Are you intending to be on Blur, or do you care? Does it matter?
I don't care. Do you need me to unblur my background for you?
I need to see the mess that is Europe. No, it's not that bad.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there's Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Bluesky at namely90s. You can also find us on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And finally, if you'd like to support our going to Vegas, go to patreon.com/namely90s and get signed up for one of our support levels before it's too late, because this podcast will be ending at the end of May.
I should just check and make sure that our Patreon is actually up.
Yeah. So then after that, we'll be doing some form of some project at some point in time.
That sounds like a thing.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a series of tutorials on how to apply eyeliner in the political arena, as with JD Vance, the new spokesperson for Maybelline. Sorry. Okay, I'm just riffing. JD Vance is an a-hole.
Wow, our Patreon's not up anymore.
My favorite thing about JD Vance is like how many times he's been recorded talking about how much of a POS he thinks Donald Trump is.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he's the POS. Moving on. What's new with you?
Not much. Just discovering that our Patreon doesn't seem to be. We unpublished your page due to inactivity.
Thanks everyone. Well, Brandon has the tuberculosis, or the consumption, if you will. Mm-hmm. Is it you're one of those? Wait, what state is that happening in?
Death.
All of the Republican states.
Oh, yeah. Clearly, some kids with the measles came by and gave me chlamydia.
At least you don't have the hantavirus like Gene Hackman's wife.
Yes, apparently she had it, and then he had Alzheimer's, and they just died by themselves.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that happened. What else? All right,
our Patreon's back online.
Hey, get signed up for one of our support levels. Mm-hmm. Is Patreon still a thing? Well, for good podcasts.
Yeah.
I was subscribed to something for a while. I signed up for a Patreon once so I could have an exclusive guide on how to start a certain type of aircraft in Microsoft's Flight Simulator.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a cold and dark startup tutorial, which is like the inside of my heart. Let's see. So you have the tuberculosis.
Mm-hmm. It does feel like I do have consumption. So
you have every single 1920s disease, to quote Jeremy Clarkson.
Mm-hmm. Like we were at trivia last night, and they had the door open, and it was like, I can feel both the cold in my lungs, the smoke in my throat from like the barbecue outside, and the smoke from the cigarette smokers out front.
You sound like you have bronchitis secondary to whatever viral illness you probably had or have.
Yes, most likely. I'm dying of bronchitis.
Oh, that's not funny. Let's see what else. Oh, American foreign policy has been turned on its head. That's fun.
But we walked it back. It's day 2.
Yeah, we walked it back and then we walked it forward. It's like
and then
we're
we're
doing
gonna
a line
April Fools
dance.
it. I was gonna put it on April Fools, but I thought they would think it's a joke.
Yeah. So that's a thing that happened. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
The
Gene
world
Hackman died.
Gene Hackman died, ripped to the max,
As well as his wife, Betsy Arakawa.
Gene Hackman. He was in movies.
The French Connection.
Enemy of the State.
Superman, the Quest for Peace.
Superman 5, the Wiki Feet years.
Superman, well, because he played Lex Luthor. He played the original movie version of Lex Luthor. French Connection.
Yeah, let's see. What else?
He was in Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
Hoosiers. Poseidon Adventure.
Knew from that one.
The original Poseidon Adventure, Enemy of the State with Will Smith.
Yeah, Enemy of the State. That movie slaps.
Get Shorty. Oh, wow.
Speaking of slaps, did you watch the Oscars? Yeah, they happened. I guess Conan was pretty good. Conan O'Brien, aka Jimmy Kimmel, was pretty good.
How dare you compare him to Jimmy Kimmel?
He made that joke. He said something about like if they didn't like it, to make sure that everyone knows his name is Jimmy Kimmel.
That's funny.
He made a joke about oh boy, I forgot his name already. Kendrick Lamar calling Drake a pedophile. And then people were like, that's racially motivated because you didn't make a joke about white pedophiles. First of all, like, is that the standard we're holding ourselves to? Second of all, he's like, remember that pedophile joke I made about the movie Conclave and the Catholic Church? Yeah, thanks, Conan. Anyway, I don't know why we have to have any pedophile jokes on the Oscars, frankly, but
he was in the Birdcage. Hackman.
Oh, that had
Robin
Eugene
Williams.
Levy and the other one.
Eugene Levy's in that? Nathan Lane and Robin Williams.
I'm thinking of a different movie.
The Birdcage, where it's like...
I'm thinking of a different movie. What movie am I thinking of?
A Mighty Wind.
I'm thinking of Best in Show. Why am I getting those two conflated? I don't know why.
The Birdcage is about a gay drag club owner.
Okay.
Yeah, played by either Lane or Robin Williams.
Oh, did you know? So I saw. Okay, I'm gonna look this up to make sure I'm not gonna fact check myself.
And then his son's getting married to Gene Hackman and Diane Weiss's daughter, and they're like ultra conservative Republicans, and then they're a gay couple. So those are the in-laws.
I was going to say, apparently they're trying to cancel a bunch of pictures from U.S. history, and they're taking away a picture of the Enola Gay because it has the word gay on it. But they're like trying to eliminate pictures of people of color in the military and like all the stuff from the National Archives. What is going on out there? You know,
he was the coach in the Replacements, in 2000s Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
This is good times.
He was the bad guy in Ants.
The bad guy in Ants. The bad guy for a good movie.
Or General Mandible. I don't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy.
The mandible, as in your lower jaw?
Yeah, because they're ants, because they have the...
Oh,
mandibles.
this intro is all over the place, just so you know.
So you keep going directions, and I keep tethering it back to Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman, the person who's in a lot, but that I haven't really watched any of his stuff.
I recommend 2000's The Replacements. It's a comedy movie. It's a comedy football movie. Keanu Reeves, they're all like replacements for the team, football team after the NFL.
I watched the jail version of that with David Spade.
They do get thrown in jail at one point. Orlando Jones is in it from Evolution.
I'm referring to that's Adam Sandler. Sorry.
Adam
2005,
Sandler was
The Longest Yard.
Evolution.
No. Wait, in what?
Evolution.
No, that's Orlando Jones?
He's in The Replacements.
I'm talking about The Longest Yard.
Oh, Jon Favreau's in it? The Longest Yard.
That is
wasn't a
Chris
comedy,
Rock,
was it?
James Cromwell, Nellie, William Fichtner,
Was that a
David
comedy?
Patrick Kelly, Tracy Morgan, Cloris Leachman, and Burt Reynolds.
Turd Ferguson. Funny name.
It's actually a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Adam Sandler as well. Not doing the voice. Not doing the voice. Shibbity doobity Timothy Chalamet.
Because don't say it 3 times, you'll summon him. Faison Love is in it. Reese Ifans. Anyway. Yeah. Speaking of dead people.
Speaking of dead people. Yeah, so it's just going on and on as we get older. More and more people are passing away, and it's usually not surprising when they're a little bit older, but when they're a bit younger, it can be shocking and tragic, even more so. And so we'd like to say, I don't know, sorry, I thought you were going to pick that up. So
I
we'd
was
like
going
to say,
but I thought it'd be funnier to let you just go.
rip to the max to Michelle Trachtenberg,
Rip
who
to the max.
was, part of my childhood in the form of being in the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where she received a lot of hate for being the most annoying character. But that's a testament to her acting skill.
Yeah. And during the night, because she was Dawn / the Key in season 5 of Buffy, which I think was 2001. Anyway,
I don't know that, but it's like, someone's a good actor when you can't stand them in a show. Like, for example, we may have talked about this before. Ed Helms in The Office.
Yes.
Exceptional actor. Cannot stand his character.
Fair point. Let's see. Yeah, it's 2000. She started in 2000, season 5 through 7.
5 through 7, 2000. Okay.
So, but one of her first roles was on Clarissa Explains. Actually, her first documented television role was on Law and Order for the episode God Bless the Child, uncredited. But she was on Clarissa Explains It All, 1993. For the episode Babysitting, where Melissa Joan Hart's Clarissa is babysitting this bratty girl.
She's kind of typecast there.
Yeah, well, she's kind of typecast as the know-it-all bratty girl, which got her the role of Nona F. Mecklenburg on The Adventures of Pete. The Adventures of Pete and Pete. Nona, her dad was played by Iggy Pop. But yeah, so she was alongside.
Yeah, we watched some Pete and Pete here at the Namely 90s headquarters.
We did.
She was in that. So there you go. There's a tie-in.
Oh yeah. Apparently she was herself on an episode of Blue's Clues and Reading Rainbow and Guys Like Us. This must have been for when she was Harriet the Spy, 1996. 1999, she was in the live action Inspector Gadget with Matthew Broderick, which I think we went over before.
Are they, by the way, erasing all references to Reading Rainbow because it contains the word rainbow and had a black man on it?
Yes.
And it was on public television.
2004, she tried to break out into the film industry with Eurotrip. I mean, she was Harriet the Spy, but this was the reinvention. She was like, I remember this era of Hollywood's a little gross because it's like barely legal teenage girls being sexualized, and it's like
that's because that's who was running Hollywood back then. Now they're more interested in eating infants or something.
But I remember the trailer, they're at a nude beach and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to take my top off and get ready." And then they show her from the backside taking her top off and running. It's like, well, that's why.
Yep.
That's the only reason anyone watched the movie Eurotrip.
Yeah.
Which has, I'm going to assume, a Rotten Tomato score of 45 out of 100. No, 47%.
And that was actually a review of Hocus Pocus 2.
Yes.
where she appears topless. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, apparently it was a sequel to Road Trip. What?
Did not know that. That makes sense though.
But
then they had like a Middle East trip after that. No. Let's see. That was 2004.
Yeah.
And then who could forget
2005's. Oh.
I have a 2006.
Okay, 2005's Ice Princess. I never saw this movie, but a lot of girls our age and a little bit younger have been like, oh my God, Michelle Trachtenberg was my Ice Princess with Kim Cattrall and Hayden Panettiere and Joan Cusack. Anyway, 2006, Black Christmas.
And who could forget that 2006 episode of House MD, where she appeared as a teenage girl who had her heart transplanted 6 months earlier, who goes into anaphylactic shock in her clean room after her boyfriend almost kisses her.
Melinda Bardock.
She plays the like overprotected child who's trying to rebel against her mom, sort of thing.
In the episode Safe.
Interesting. In the episode Safe. Yep.
2006, she also made an appearance on Law & Order Criminal Intent as a completely different character from her previous Law & Order
Law
show.
and Order Criminal
Also 2006. If anyone watched early Robot Chicken, the gummy bear scene where it's a gummy bear hopping through the woods and it's like, I'm so happy because I'm a gummy bear. And then it accidentally steps on a bear trap and then just lets out this shrill shriek. That was her, as well as other various voices.
I mean, you know, there's no shame in being a character actor, right?
Right. Got her roles on Gossip Girl as Georgina Sparks for 28 episodes, as well as the reboot. She came back for a few episodes. A main role on a TV series called Mercy. She was in Weeds for 5 episodes.
Mercy, yeah. She also began, probably due to her illness, so I'm not trying to be mean, but she did begin to resemble Elizabeth Olsen as she got older, in my opinion. Is that her name, Elizabeth Olsen? Elizabeth Smart? No, that's no, it's the wrong person.
You're thinking of the Olsen twins, not Elizabeth Olsen.
Because
Elizabeth Olsen has a fuller face.
Yeah, I mean a little bit.
You're thinking of like Mary-Kate and Ashley during the chic fashion years.
She looks like an Olsen somehow a little bit.
Well, she specifically looks like Mary-Kate, like when they were rail thin.
Okay.
And that's most likely the health related.
Yeah, that's the health related thing. For the others, it was like the cocaine years. But for her, it was a health crisis of some
allegedly.
Allegedly. Everything we say on the show is allegedly.
Yes.
But you can be president and say anything you want without the word allegedly in front of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently there was a 2023 Harriet the Spy on Apple TV Plus, a series. She's a voice in it.
All right.
Yeah. And then I just saw, as I was collecting some memoriams for her, that she wrote a script that was rejected by Hollywood, but her her boyfriend, I guess current boyfriend at the time of death, and producer friends are trying to get it made into a movie because it's
also she was, by the way, left. Speaking of the Oscars, left out of the Oscars in memoriam package.
I heard that, but that
could have been too late.
Yeah, like I think it's year end, right?
I believe that's probably true.
So hopefully they correct that next year, and she's in that one along with Gene Hackman. Was Gene Hackman in this one? Is the question.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I didn't watch it, so.
I didn't watch them either. I just watched part of it.
So let's see. Some Danny Tamborelli, who played younger Pete on The Adventures of Pete and Pete, shared a photo of him and Michelle Trachtenberg together, and said he recalled growing up alongside her and making people laugh together. And quote, more importantly, we learned to make each other laugh and pull pranks on everyone. We were doing improv when it was still called playing pretend to get laughs. She was a bright light, firecracker, and caring person who spent a lot of time and effort advocating for people who needed a louder voice. Michelle is someone to look up to in this business and to the general world at large. She'll be missed. All my love and sympathy and compassion to Lana, Irene, and the rest of her family and friends. You know, like just all the outpouring for her really makes her seem like she was like a down to earth person.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, who starred alongside her in Harriet the Spy. Where did her quote go?
She instead of doing like a 21 gun salute, there was a 21 Koosh slingshot salute.
Yes.
At the okay.
Because Rosie O'Donnell, that was her thing on her talk show. She would do the Koosh ball slingshot. For those of you who don't know, it's funnier if I explain your jokes. But yes, she said she found it heartbreaking. I loved her very much. She struggled the last few years. I wish I could have helped. I thought there was a better quote there. What else? Buffy co-stars Sarah Michelle Gellar.
We're elated. No, I'm kidding. It's like, of course, they're all going to be like, hopefully supportive. And
I did see Sarah Michelle Gellar's in some mental health crisis right now because of her passing, which probably not a great sign for the Buffy reboot that they were just so gung-ho about 2 weeks ago. That's
a good thing the Republicans put mental health as such a priority in this country. So that'll be nice at least.
Let's see. Sarah Michelle Gellar wrote, Michelle, listen to me. Listen, I love you. I will always love you. The hardest thing in this world is live in it. I will be brave. I will live for you. And then she also added 3 broken hearts and a key emoji. James Marsters said, my heart is heavy today. He's played Spike. We have lost a beautiful soul. Michelle is fiercely intelligent, howlingly funny, and a very talented person. She died much too young and leaves behind scores of people who knew and loved her. David Boreanaz said, so very sad, horrible news, RIP, and prayers to her and her family. Allison Hannigan, I am deeply saddened by the news of Michelle's passing. She brought a loving energy to the set of Buffy. My thoughts are with Michelle's family and friends. And Amber Benson, who played Tara, Emma Caulfield, Claire Kramer, J. August Richards, who never actually acted with her, but was gone on Angel. Let's see, Elijah Dushku.
Too soon.
Amber Rose Tamblyn, Chris Carpenter.
Wait, that's funny weird.
What?
That's a funny weird connection.
What's that?
Because Amber Tamblyn was in House toward the later years. They didn't act together, but
so Amber Tamblyn was, I think, a contemporary of Michelle Trachtenberg. They were
probably true.
I think the Buffy episode, they were like the same age, and like she was like the bad influence girl on Dawn in season 7. Somebody in our peer group. Anything else on Michelle Trachtenberg?
I mean, I didn't know. I knew her best from Buffy, honestly.
In that episode,
just
of House.
That one episode of House. But it's sad, especially. I mean, it's sad when anyone dies, but especially when it's someone that no one has anything bad to say about and is entirely too young for that. So we can, all we can do is keep living, right?
As Sarah Michelle Gellar said, Michelle Trachtenberg, like she was awesome. She was like the kid that you want to be friends with on The Adventures of Pete and Pete, like Harriet the Spy. She seemed like she was cool, and apparently she was. So rip to the max.
A hearty rip to the max from the Namely 90s crew.
Yeah. Pour one out.
All right. Well, now let's go to our mid-episode break. And this time I'm not going to say questionable things between this part and the and now back to the show part.
Yeah, so it occurs to me that I didn't edit that out last week. All right.
Anyway, and now back to the show.
So instead of doing that whole thing for Gene Hackman as well, let's just do a BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah, I kind of brought the mood down there. I mean, you got to do it occasionally.
Yeah. And I don't think we've gone through season 4 episode without doing a BuzzFeed quiz yet. So
now it's our thing.
Yes.
What if the last episode is just all BuzzFeed quizzes? No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Namely 90s. Oops, all BuzzFeed.
What if we make a Namely 90s BuzzFeed quiz and then go through it?
Yes. That might actually be something that we can do.
Anyway, so we're doing a BuzzFeed quiz called Everyone Has a Buffy the Vampire Slayer character that matches their personality. Which one is yours? By Evelina Zaragoza Medina, posted in 2021.
And if we have done this one in the past 5 years, let us know.
We haven't.
Are you
There's
sure?
no way.
We did. I swear we did one Buffy. I think we did. Are you more Spike or Angel? But
okay.
I don't remember.
Well, here we go. So, do you want to start?
Sure. It starts with the question of what type of student were you? A loner, a class clown, the athlete, a teacher's pet, a theater kid, or an overachiever?
Boy. I was none of these things.
Yeah.
I could be accused of being a teacher's pet.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I could be accused of being an overachiever. Like, I wasn't straight A's, but I was in most of the AP classes. But
you were willing to be wrapped over the knuckles by a nun if you dropped below a B-. So, that's overachievement.
Yeah. They take the hot poker out of the fire and give you a little
branding. Okay. Wow, that got dark quick. When are you most productive? Morning, afternoon, or night?
Truthfully, for me, I'm most productive at night. I'm a night owl.
I'm a morning owl, kind of. I'm a no time of day person, to be clear.
So,
but I chose morning.
Gotcha. Pick the best place to go on a date. A museum, the mall, a cemetery.
A cemetery.
I swear we've done this before.
A cemetery, which is where you get concrete.
I didn't even notice that. A dance club, the movies, or a restaurant.
Okay. Well, I'm a self-identified fat person, so typically a restaurant. But I feel like when you're in school, like the movies is where you're trying to go. So I'm gonna go with the movies, and not the quarry where you're gonna get your cement.
For me, best place to go on a date. I like a restaurant, but the mall,
the mall.
The mall.
I just saw an ad, by the way, while we're doing this for like a fancy feast thing. It looked like a flan, and it had like juices dripping down the top of it, and some pretty cat came in and ate it. That was weird. Anyway,
I feel like you have targeted ads there.
So, what accessory would you never leave the house without? My coat, a hair tie, a bag to carry all my stuff, my phone, a water bottle, or a snack.
So weird definitions of accessories. Oh, it's me. So I guess I do never leave the house without my phone, but I think I always have a bag. I have a bag for whatever activity I'm doing to carry all my stuff.
All right. Well, I don't do activities, and I feel weird without my phone, so I'll say my phone.
Which of these would be the most helpful ally? A vampire, a werewolf, or a zombie?
I mean, hands down, it's a vampire for me.
I mean,
because they can appear as a normal person, at least at night.
Yeah.
And still retain their advantage, but not be obvious.
And also, like, a werewolf is only a werewolf, like, 1 to 3 days out of the month. A zombie will most likely try to eat you.
Plus, who knows when you're going to need a ringer for your fast pitch team?
Right.
This is why you need a vampire.
Can I also do vampire?
Sure. Have you seen the baseball scene in Twilight?
Yes.
That's what I'm referring to.
I've seen 3 of the 5
stupidest
Twilight
thing ever. Anyway. Yes, you can choose the same thing. Which of these books are you most interested in reading? It does say, which of these books are you most interested in reading?
I'm so glad I didn't.
Pride and Prejudice, The Hobbit, 1984, The Wizard of Oz, Wuthering Heights, or War and Peace.
So I did actually read The Wizard of Oz in 3rd grade. So that's off the list. I hear the Lord of the Rings books are good. So I would be interested in reading The Hobbit.
I've not read this, and I feel like now is the time to read it, but 1984. A little dystopian, a little crazy. Anyway.
Which of these fictional weapons is the most useful? Thor's hammer, King Arthur's sword, Hermione Granger's wand, the One Ring, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, or Wolverine's claws?
I mean, it's probably Thor's hammer, but that implies that Thor is present, or that other person who's somehow able to use his hammer for reasons unexplained to me.
I mean, if you're worthy of the power of Thor.
Yeah.
So you went with his hammer.
I think I seemed like kind of a douche, but yeah, I'll go with Thor's hammer.
I mean, most useful, lightsaber.
Okay. Yeah. You can slice vegetables with it. Do you usually make a good first impression? Yes, no, or sometimes?
I'm going to go with sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that, actually. I would go with yes. Right. I think I present a good first impression. Once you get to know me, it's evident that I'm an awful person. No, I'm just kidding. I'll say yes.
All right. Finally, pick one song to be your personal anthem. Toxic by Britney Spears. Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. 15 by Taylor Swift. Fighter by Christina Aguilera. Juice by Lizzo.
Ooh, I do like Lizzo.
Or Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. These are weird Lizzo's choices.
Let's see. Green Day. People are like mad that Green Day was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I feel like that's appropriate. Like,
they rock.
Rock and roll has changed. It's not just the Eagles now.
Yeah. I mean, they induct other people into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that aren't rock musicians.
Yeah. Well, I never really admitted to liking Green Day, but I did like that song in school back when we were in like high school. So.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very downer for an anthem, though.
My heart.
Okay.
What did you choose?
I guess I'll do Sweet Child of Mine as if we're playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. No, sorry, that was Welcome to the Jungle, but still.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh my good gosh.
Well, you go first.
Let's guess what we got based off of what.
You said Xander for you.
Really? Okay. You're
wrong.
Who
do you think I was?
Let's see. You said the movies, you said Morning, and you said Teacher's Pet. So I'm going to assume you got, and you said Green Day. So you got Oz.
Okay. All right, you go first. Who'd you get?
I got Giles.
Giles, not Jay Giles.
Yes.
Giles.
And I'm assuming it's because of a Sweet Child of Mine was my pick for the music. You're extremely sensible and rational, which might make you feel like you're the only adult in the room. Yeah. But under that mild-mannered exterior is a really big heart. The people who get to know you are also lucky to hear your witty one-liners, also true, which you usually mutter under your breath. Also true.
Well, I feel this was meant to be... I was selected to be Dawn.
No way. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You are literally the sweetest
Donnie.
person in the world and have a smile that lights up a room. That's not to say you're not also strong and capable, parenthesis, you may even be a little stubborn, close parenthesis, but you approach everything with an innate sense of kindness.
Wow. How is mine so spot on and yours?
I mean,
that?
I have elements of Dawn.
No, that's fair. The gif that mine's doing, it's Giles like looking up and it's raining. He's like,
Now this
God,
is
every day here is the same.
this is not a joke.
Uh-huh.
I'm not trying to be mean.
Uh-huh.
My GIF wouldn't load. That is kind of depressing.
Yeah. Rip to the max gif.
Rip to the max.
Rip to the max. Donnie. Oh. Well, let us know if you thought that was a adequate memoriam for Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone downhill. We do with plane crashes, dead people. Like this is rough.
Season 4, baby.
Yeah.
As we slowly march towards the death of our podcast.
Yeah, we should just do an in memoriam of the podcast at the last episode. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Bummer. Michelle Trachtenberg was 39. So we only have 4 more years. Dark? Too dark? Too dark.
4 more years. 4 more years.
That's
it for this week's
edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Instagram, Bluesky, and YouTube at Namely 90s with 90s, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. And if you'd like to support the show, you can now again, because the Patreon is back up at patreon.com/Namely90s, also the 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, The Key, Pocket Cast, Castbox, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
It's going to be my memorial next with all that weight loss, the 9 pounds.
No, I'm definitely going to die from tuberculosis. You're looking good.